Oopsie. I did exactly what I always do, which is exactly what I say I'm not going to do, which is exactly this. I said that I wasn't going to leave my mess for later me. I was going to clean it up a little bit at a time over the winter. Did I do that? No. Is it time to plant tomatoes in here and I'm not ready? Yeah. Oh well, though. What I find irritating, not now that I'm coming into a warm greenhouse, but 2 days ago it was 81 and right now it's like 45. And that just feels illegal somehow. I don't like it. But I have a high tunnel, so in reality, it is 70 in here, judging by this thermometer that I got from the Dollar Tree. So yeah, welcome to another episode of Kim Procrastinates. And that's okay, because I'm always the one that has to deal with my actions. But what's on the bracket for things to do today is I've got to clean out this tunnel. And it won't be exciting, so here's a little time lapse of me cleaning up the tunnel. Welcome to the greenhouse that is much cleaner than it was before, but is still not up to par. I got most of the greenhouse cleared out. All that's really left is this row. I'm trying to figure out the best course of action because I think that I want to remove all of the landscape fabric, but I think I might just do one row at a time because this is a really big space to manage for just one person, and I have two of these. And all of outside and my other tunnel. It's actually gonna be probably a really good day to work in the tunnel. Once again, I'm kind of working against a time clock because we have piano today. So I'm just gonna try to get as much as I can done before we go because that's all I can do. But I will have nice acoustics falling on the roof of the greenhouse. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's nice sounds. But first, I found the weed eater and I've got to weed eat around here and try not to hit the plastic stuff. Well, I got one row done, and I think that I'm going to concentrate one row at a time so that I don't get overwhelmed and so that I can have a little bit of a a win. I think the last time I read it was 96% humidity, and this is what I've been crying about all winter, so I'm not even going to say it's bothering me because I love it. I love humidity. But anyway, to be quite honest, I think that I just need a little win, and I can trick my brain into releasing the dopamine of finishing a task if I do one row at a time instead of trying to do it all at once, because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that was super cheesy, and I'm sorry. But really, this whole season, I've just been waiting on me to feel like me again. Usually it's about April. April has come and gone, and I still don't feel good. So mentally. So I'm just going to have to let some things go this season, I think. And the idea of perfection, which I've never really had, but I'm going to have to even lax a little bit more than I usually am, just because I'm doing my best. But I'm doing some things a little different this year. As you can see, I'm removing the plastic because it's driving me crazy. It's almost like using landscape fabric as a pacifier. It's going to help in the beginning. You're going to be so thankful for that pacifier. But eventually that pacifier turns into a hindrance, and it starts moving your child's teeth around. And not that I can relate, because my babies never took a pacifier. They just cried all the time. But the landscape fabric is a pacifier for the real problem, which is not enough mulch. I'm going to try to move away from landscape fabric as much as possible, because once you let things go to seed, like the grasses that you can see over there, then they drop their seed on top of the landscape fabric, and then everything just grows up over the landscape fabric like it doesn't even exist. So I'm kind of over it. That's my spiel on landscape fabric. Now, I don't currently have enough compost to do everything that I want to with compost, but it's okay. I'm just going to add it in each hole as I'm planting, and I think that that'll be perfectly fine. But this is what I'm going to try this year. We'll see. I'll trial it for you to see if it works. You saw me use cardboard in my small greenhouse, and that works great. But this is a really big area, and so just for kind of ease, and also I don't have that much cardboard, this is contractor's paper that you can buy. I bought this at Lowe's. They have it at probably every home store. And it comes in multiple widths. This one is 35 inches. And then I can just roll it out and plant right into it. So this is going to act as cardboard. It is a thicker paper. It's not going to take as long to break down as cardboard would, but I think it's going to work. The entire game plan is to take up all the landscape fabric and do the walkways in wood chip mulch. Mine isn't being delivered till like next week maybe, so this will have to do. These cottonwood seedlings are my most irritating weed. We have tons of cottonwood trees. Oh, I flipped that in my eyeball. But it makes a really long taproot that's hard to pull out of the dang ground. All right, let's see if I can do this without ripping the paper and defeating the purpose. Mo, get off the paper. Get off. Off. Mo, get off the paper. Okay, so far, loving how easy that is. Now, if you live in a place that gets any amount of wind, you're going to have to cover up this cardboard paper, or else it'll just fly away. You could hold it down with rocks, but it's really ideal to mulch over it because this paper is going to disappear through the course of the season with all the moisture breaking it down, but also the bugs coming up to eat it, because there's just something about cardboard that worms really love. So I am going to put straw on top just because that's what I have and I know that it works well. You can also use old, like rotten hay, new hay if that's all that you have available. Wood chips, but they would have to be pretty broken down for me to use them as a bed topper. Just basically anything, because mulch on top of your beds is not only going to hold your paper down, but the mulch on top of the beds is also going to hold the moisture in. You never want to actually see your soil, at least not for very long. You really want to cover it, or whoops, or Mother Nature will cover herself in things that you don't really want her to cover herself in. So I'm going to put a thick straw mulch. What's important to know about grass crops or cereal crops is that you should know the farmer who grew those crops, just because they're usually so heavily contaminated with herbicide. But I know the farmer who farmed this and he didn't spray his wheat. So I don't have to worry about that, but I can't let you guys just go out and buy any old bale off the side of the road, because you never know what's in it. And it could, kill your entire garden. And who wants that after doing all of this work? Not I. Dang it, you know what I just thought of? I should have laid the drip tape. Okay, before I get any farther along, I'm going to lay the strip tape because I was supposed to do that already. Okay, drip tape is on. Back to work. Although that needs to be underneath the mulch. So, that's good. I've got like 30 minutes, so I'm really not going to get very much accomplished. But look at these lovelies. I grew all of my tomatoes in these like 1.5 inch soil blocks, or maybe these are 2 inch. Each tray holds 45, and this one has 2, you can see. But this is how much soil that they grew in. Since I see, can you imagine I dropped this whole tray? I would cry. I started these in March, I think. Honestly, don't remember. I think I started these in March, and look at how lovely they have grown. All in these little soil blocks, which is why I love them so much. Actually, I changed my mind because the responsible person in me needs to make sure my children are ready to go to piano lesson. So I cannot stay out here until the last possible second and then go in. So I'll catch back up with you later and we'll start planting this. I'm back from piano lessons. I've completed 1 entire row and I'm ready to plant some tomatoes. Also, thank you to the person who commented on one of my videos that says I need to get one of these. It'll save me a lot of time. I have one and I forgot that I had it. So thank you for that, because it does save you a lot of time. I got this on Amazon. I think it's like a 12-inch auger. But this comes in handy because I'll be planting my tomatoes pretty deep, and this will save my wrist a lot of digging, Now the problem comes in trying to place these in the places that I want, because Sun Sugar or Sun Gold is my favorite cherry tomato, so it's got to be right here in the front. It's also everyone in my household's favorite cherry tomato. This was the first year that I grew them only like this without potting them up. And I was kind of nervous, but this year I wasn't going to do a plant sale because I usually start thousands of plants. And then by the end, I still have thousands of plants left. So it was kind of discouraging. So I decided to take a break from the plant sale. But look at how lovely they grew. And it saved me a step because I seeded directly into these blocks. And then I didn't have to pot them up, which is literally the worst garden chore. Or greenhouse chore, I think. I hate potting things up. Okay, now what I'm trying to decide is, am I going to do them every 12 inches? 18? I think 18. Because I'm going to be trellising them straight up, they can be pretty close together. Okay. I think I am going to cut a hole in the paper first before I mess it up with this. Going to make a hole with the drill. Then, because tomatoes can grow, actually things in the nightshade family can grow roots along their stem, I'm going to plant this as deep as I can with the auger bit and pick off the lower leaves and then fill the whole back with my homemade compost just to get it on the right foot. Plus it saves me a little bit because I don't really have enough compost to do like the entire bed like I did my other greenhouse. Because I have so many more plants in this one. I'm gonna put its little tag so I can remember what it is right here in the front, because tags are so important. When you want to save seed, you've got to know what it is. I mean, I guess you don't have to know, but it is nice to know. And then that's all. I'm just gonna continue down this row.
For the past few days, we have been waiting, and now, guess what? We have like tons of peas. Look how many. We have peas growing and more peas. We have some kale growing. Also, we got a lot of stuff, so. And then over here we have way more peas. And like I've been waiting for this forever. And they're really good. And everyone who's watching, always grow your own strawberries. They taste way better than any strawberries. I'm saying way better.
This is planting tomatoes in the tunnel, part 3, because it's taken me this many times to get one row planted, but here we are. And I told myself, and you probably, that I wasn't going to plant that many tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, because who needs that many? Apparently I do. I think there's 55. That's quite a lot for just mainly my household. I'm not really selling a whole lot, but they were fun varieties and I could not put them in here. So you can see in my mulched beds, but also tomatoes peeking up out of the mulch. They don't look like literally anything right now, but in a couple months, this space is going to look completely different. And I'm going to leave you with a little pep talk, as well as a little pep talk for me, because I just need it, okay? These tomatoes should have been planted in here a month ago. And they weren't, and it's fine. You know, we all can be so hard on ourselves. I know that I'm really bad about that. I just have very high expectations and I can never meet them. But that's okay. I think it's great to have goals and dreams and aspirations, but at some point you have to meet your dream world and reality, and you have to find some kind of middle ground that you can be happy. Because it's very easy for me to be overwhelmed at all the things that I signed myself up for, and then I lose out on my favorite time of the year. This is literally, I cry all winter to wait for this, and I just don't want to let my brain ruin it, if that makes sense. So if you too are hard on yourself and you're double booked in every aspect, you always have too much going on, everything's always a little bit untidy, or a lot of it, I guess just be a little easier on yourself, because this isn't really the reality's fault. This is your dream self's fault for signing you up for all the things that in the off season you feel like you can do, and then in this season you're like, oh wait, I'm triple booked. Anyway, I don't know if I'm rambling. I've been sweating since the second I woke up today, but that's not a complaint. That's a hallelujah. So I have a lot more work to do in here because I have 3 more rows to plant, but I am going to be done for the day, I think. So this is where I leave you. Be easier on yourself. I'm really talking to myself here. I'll hear it again when I go to edit it. But thank you guys for watching. Until next time.